Greetings, ladies and gents, and welcome to this latest edition of Tales from Outer Space. And as always, I hope that you enjoy. Just a quick shout out to the T5 peeps: Bob the Dragon, Crab Lobster, Datamagnet, DuckMachine, Mezec, Try Again 95, Feudic Jarl, Astraya the Dreamer, Casper Arnholtz, Maxwell, Ithilia, Meridian 117, and Jordan Buxbaum. Thank you very much. Story number 1. Humans on All Fours, written by chengelao. A hog primed his heavy blade. He was ready to do battle with the humans. He had nothing to fear, after all. A hog was an exceptional warrior who had fought against orcs, elves, and humans alike, and he had scars to show for it. Even if he didn't have the heated blood and the raw strength of youth, a hog easily towered a head and shoulders above any human, and had the strength and thickness of hide to match. Behind their city walls, the humans were impervious to attack, but in an open field an orc was worth 10 humans. The first sightings of the human banners came over the horizon. The battle horns blew. "Charge!" a hog cried from his very core. His fellow orcs cried with him. Their instincts had been awakened, and they demanded blood. The warriors from the elven tribes of the Orc Confederacy rushed forward, ready to butcher the puny humans by the dozens. But he came closer to the human formation. Her hog felt a chill through his body. Piercing through the deep war cries of his fellow tribesmen, he could hear the shrill screeches of banshees and ghosts. He felt a rumble shake the battlefield, faster than his own footsteps. As the silhouettes of the humans approached, a hog found the sun slowly eclipsed by the height of his foe. It was too late that the hog realized that he was fighting something more than mere humans. Indeed, only the upper half seemed to be scrawny, feeble men that a hog had expected. Yet these demons stood the height well over a hog's head, making a hog feel, for the first time, puny. The demonic foe charged him with 4 tapered legs, sprinting in the same fashion as beasts of the hunt. From its torso came a second head, one that shrieked and whined as its upper half demandingly yelled for greater speed. The formation of the demi-human monstrosities crashed through the formation of orcs like a hellfire through sinners. The instant the two groups made contact, a hog saw his fellow tribesmen soar through the air, like rocks thrown carelessly from a village boy's sling. The arrogant cries of surefire victory became a banshee's wail of terror, as the orcs broke rank and tore lumberingly away from the behemoths looming before them. "Come back!" a hog bellowed, trying to salvage the chaos. He tried to catch his tribesmen running from the fray, throwing them back into battle. "Come back, you cowards! They're just humans!" But his voice was drowned out by the piercing shriek of the demons. As a hog turned, ready to face his foe alone, he found one of the demon enemies right above him. The beast raised itself on its hind legs, with its front legs ready to smash right down into Ohog's skull. Ohog stared in horror at the height of the monster. "No!" he cried, raising his arms to shield him. The monster dropped all its weight onto Ohog, and the world went black. Ohog slowly opened his eyes. He groaned. His head was spinning from the pain. "Imprisonment or death, Orc!" With a snap, Ohog woke from his confusion. A human warrior stood over him now, with his weapon brandished and ready to slay Ohog should he resist. "I yield," Ohog quickly blurted out. A life as a slave would be better than no life at all. If Ohog was lucky, he might even get ransomed back to the tribe. Slowly, Ohog rose from the ground. As he did so, he studied his captor. It was a typical human with feeble-looking joints, with only 2 legs and a good head shorter than Ohog. Was the whole battle a hallucination? Just as he was wondering how the orcs had lost against these puny humans, he heard a bay, one that would continue to haunt his sleep to the end of his days. Ohog jumped in fright as he turned to look at the muscular beast that stood behind the human warrior. It was the bottom half of the demon from the battle, its muscular neck rippling as it turned its head at Ohog dejectedly, before deciding instead to inspect the grass patch on the floor. "What in the name of gods is that?" Ohog asked, nearly frozen in petrification. Who? Nucleave? The human warrior asked. He's a horse, a bloody splendid one at that. A horse? Yeah, fine beasts, aren't they? Runs faster than a hare, they do. The man boasted. The western nomads found these buggers in some grass plains and domesticated them. Some years back they started trading these beauties with the Five Kingdoms. The king of Arnland nearly traded his whole damn kingdom for horse. We've been using them for just about everything ever since. Ohog slowly digested the information. The horse in front of him truly seemed to be a magnificent beast of burden. One that could carry loads, pull carts, run long distances, and push through adversity with greater muscle, bulk, and speed than an orc ever could. And now the human kingdoms had these beasts domesticated. The orc tribes had suddenly lost their competitive edge on the field and in just about everything, really. The human warrior, noticing Ohog's interest in the steed, grinned with pride. You're impressed by the horses, huh? He said. Ohog could do nothing than nod, honestly, speechless. The human grinned wider. Well, you better gather your wits, because elephants are going to blow your mind. End of story. Story number 2. A Talent for Diplomacy. Written by Allergoric. Ariaki moi kina sashaba. Ensign Hughes blinked. A bead of sweat formed on her brow. The chamber was far too hot. The administrator narrowed his eyes. Usakula amashan. Ari nos kina. Dena karad irida. Risis ada lasha. The membranes around the mouth of the guard standing behind the gaudily costumed creature inflated slightly. Hughes recognized this as amusement. Onara shall salve, said the administrator slowly. It pointed at the hollow map. She turned her head to look at it. A big, round thing. The planet, obviously, and symbols, things, blinking things. She had no idea. None. Why was it so damn hot here? Breathe! She snapped her head crisply forward again. Anara shall salve, repeated the creature in a louder tone. All can I do? It swept its jeweled star through the hologram, briefly disrupting the floating image, and shuffled around the central dais. Hughes stood, impassive and silent, staring straight ahead. She had no idea what else to do. Imagine that it's a drill sergeant, she told herself. Don't think, don't react, don't do anything stupid. Shimmerless, mumbled the administrator. It shook its head from side to side. Shimmerless. She remained at ease, her hands folded neatly into the small of her back, her gaze fixed rigidly on the door opposite her. The pause was uncomfortably long. She fought to control each breath, to focus, to not pass out. The creature shuffled away from the dais in the panorama view, gazing out across the sprawling domes of the city to the 2 red stars hanging above the horizon. Lani Magama Shakral, it said quietly. Its mouth membranes inflated slightly as it shook its head. Denison, Molo. Oh, deities, this had better be over soon. Her guts felt hollow. At last the administrator turned and bowed deeply to Hughes. Arala Arambarad Daran, it announced, the emotion obvious in its voice. Baralashu, Salu Kavash. Well done, Ensign, said the Captain Welland. They've agreed to all of our demands, all of them. Placed their defense squadron under our jurisdiction too. He sipped his coffee and looked over at the manifest. I've got no idea how you did it. Quite a talent for diplomacy, Ensign. Quite a talent. The Confederacy will look favorably upon this. This could mean a promotion. Hughes had no idea either. She'd forgotten to pack a translator. End of story. And that, my friends, concludes this video. I hope that you enjoyed. There are links down below, both to support this channel and for the author of this fiction. Anyways, I hope you all have a fantastic one, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.